We are live. We've got Megan today, and I'm going to play a lovely song for Megan. So here we go. Singing, don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little bugs chop my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melody pure and true. Singing, this is my message to you. And that's all you're getting, because the show is about Megan and not the guitar or anything else. So, welcome to the show, Megan. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. Delighted to have you here. So my first question to all of my guests is, why did you choose that song?
I mean, it's just amazing, isn't it? One, what a legend. And two, I feel like that's something that everybody needs to remember. Like, just chill. I feel like, especially in business, people are super stressed out all of the time, and they forget to like appreciate the life that's around them, and like, just don't worry about it. It'll sort itself out, kind of vibes.
No, I love it. I've just thrown the lyrics over there. they're really easy lyrics. But the thing is, right? Yeah, when you say that, you rise up in the morning and you smile with the rising sun. There's three birds perched on your window. What more do you need?
Exactly.
What more do you need? That is brilliant. Thank you for that.
No worries.
I play all these songs and you never really stop and think about what the lyrics are about. You just love the music. So yeah. So you're a big Bob Marley fan.
Yeah. Well, I say I'm a big music fan in general, but Bob Marley songs especially hold a little bit of a special place in my heart. My granddad's a little bit of a Bob Marley fan, so
Cool. Well, yeah, absolute legend, like you say. In fact, that was the name of one of his albums, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're here to talk about LinkedIn. We're here to talk about you. So what I want to know is, how long have you been on LinkedIn?
I checked this out. So it's August the 1st, 2015 that I joined. Okay. So I would have been 17 years old, which is worrying.
Wow.
But yeah, I've been on LinkedIn a long time.
For you're not that old, but yeah, for a large portion of your adult, I wouldn't have thought that many people get on at 17. So, and you've seen the platform change quite a bit since then as well, haven't you?
Yeah, 100%. So when I first come on, I think I was in real estate, and it was really just a formality. It was sort of the thing that everybody had a LinkedIn profile, so you had it and you just kept it to the side, and maybe every now and again you would, speak to other real estate agents or something, but you would never really generate traffic through it or post anything about your life. It was just kind of the professional version of Facebook, is what it was marketed as at the beginning.
Yeah. And there's so many people out there that's what they think it is, which is
100%.
Which is crackers. Okay, so why do you use LinkedIn?
Oh, I guess I try to use every social media platform these days.
Yes, you certainly do.
Owning a digital marketing company, I try to have a really good understanding of the internet as a whole. And I feel like LinkedIn is the one for B2Bs often. So a lot of my clients like to use LinkedIn. We've seen really good results on it. And a bit of like morbid curiosity. I've been in business a really long time, and I like to see what everybody else is doing, kind of selfishly. I like just to see where everybody else ends up.
Oh, well, that's how we met, wasn't it? Just just by chance. That's how LinkedIn works, which is amazing. So what do you like about LinkedIn then?
I mean, I like that there is kind of a precedent of people on LinkedIn are always very driven people. They tend to be. And they tend to be a bit more on the professional side, and super helpful. They definitely know what they're doing. The people who are interacting with you aren't just interacting for the sake of interacting with you, kind of like what you find on other platforms. It's like, I'm just going to leave an emoji or something like that. LinkedIn comments are usually pretty helpful. And the platform as a whole is very supportive of, accomplishments, which I feel like might come across a bit braggy on other platforms. So yeah, it's got a soft spot.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely amazing. And because you run a social agency, you know all of these platforms. So we're going to delve into those in a second.
Yeah.
How much time do you reckon you spend on LinkedIn daily?
So what I do is I rotate my primary platform every week. So every week, the majority of my screen time is dedicated to one platform.
Oh, that's cool.
So if it's a LinkedIn week, it could be something ridiculous. Like I spend 28 hours of my week on LinkedIn. But if it's not a LinkedIn week, it tends to be an average of about an hour a day.
Okay.
But I have very high screen time. I don't recommend that for anyone.
I'm listening to a book at the moment by a guy called Johan Hari. I don't know if you've heard of him.
No.
Check him out. Check him out. Absolutely incredible. The amount of time we spend on our screens. It's not just phones. It's all of this as well. So yeah, it is quite incredible. Okay, so when do you find a good time to post on LinkedIn that works for you? What sort of time of day or specific days?
So in terms of my analytics, like what gets the most engagement, I find that UK afternoons are best for me. My audience is mainly UK. But to be honest, I don't really post strategically on my own personal LinkedIn. I post whatever I want to post, whenever I want to post it, however often I like to post it. And if I think something is worthy of LinkedIn, then it goes on LinkedIn. And if it's 3 a.m. in the morning, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. But yeah, for our clients, we tend to say, okay, when people finish the workday, when they're on the lunch break, or when they're about to start is usually best for people.
Yeah, I like that. That makes a lot of sense. And I love your laid back, chilled out sort of style. If it's 3 o'clock, it doesn't matter. I love it because at least you're posting. And I think that's the problem, is it? So many people get het up with when's the right time to post. So guess what? They never post.
Yeah, well, I think that can be especially difficult if you own a social media agency, because you start to think of everything as like the client, and you think, oh, I need to post like I would post for my clients. But that kind of takes the social out of social media, and it takes your personal, genuine enjoyment of platforms out of the equation. If everything you post is just to convert people and just to have an audience and just to build your following, then you tend to have a shitty time on social media. Like, you stop interacting with things that you genuinely enjoy. And that's what I found with my LinkedIn. Has stuff about Pokemon cards and has stuff about, did memes and everything that I enjoy as a person, because it's supposed to reflect me as a person and not me as a business.
Yeah, absolutely. So Claire likes that idea of rotation of platforms. You said that. I was so I go under the moniker of the 15-minute guy. I got a DM today from a guy that does 15 minutes on piano. So excellent. So cool. That's perfect, isn't it? 15 minutes and music. What's not to like? Okay, so tell us. So for, the very last question on LinkedIn is, do you get business as a result of what you do on LinkedIn?
Yeah, so we've had 2 clients from my LinkedIn personal profile. We don't really do anything on the business page, so nothing there. One of them was just under 1K a month, and one of them is doing just over 2K a month. So I do get business from it. It tends to be people who see me as a genuine person, open up for a chat. And one of them was about like trading cards and Pokemon cards and stuff like that. So if I'd have kept it purely professional, we wouldn't have had them all.
No.
So there you go.
That's a top tip. So you are being Megan on the platform, and that's dead easy, because you know how to be Megan.
Yeah.
So many people are sort of like, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that. So tell us a little bit more about what you do. What's your business? How do you help people?
Yeah, so Sochelle is a digital marketing agency. We deal with everything to do with online presence. We especially deal with people who might have a difficult time going through traditional platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And we look for people who solve a problem that maybe lots of people don't know exist. This puts us in a weird space often. Like, a lot of our clients have problems that people don't know are problems yet. And yeah, so I guess we just try and niche down to people who are in their own individual niches. Often they've had a bad experience with another digital marketing agency, and we put them on lots of different platforms dependent on where their perfect audience would be.
Okay, and we were just having a quick chat before just to make sure the sound works, and you came up with something. I have heard of it, and I know people that are on it, but I've never been on it, and that's Reddit. So tell us a little bit about this little nugget.
Yeah, so my agency actually generates 60% of all of our leads from Reddit, and it's something that we use a lot for our clients. What we do is we scour through Reddit and look for a question that our services or our client services have the answer to. So for me, as an agency owner, that looks like, oh, how do I get more Instagram followers? How do I build my social media presence? How do I convert my following into money? All of these kind of questions. We leave a super long, detailed response of everything we would do in their situation and all of the factors that they would need to consider. We give it away as free advice. And then at the end of it, we just say hey, if you want to discuss this further with us, come through. Let's have a chat about it. Or we can manage this for you for a set price. It's a difficult thing to do. And the goal is not necessarily to convert the person who asked the question. It tends to be to convert the people who are in the comment section. And what's great about that is it's evergreen content. So we have people come through now from posts we made 9 or 10 months ago saying, oh, I saw your comment under this. I'm really interested in social media services. Let's have a chat. So
so Reddit, then the content stays there forever, and okay, so and that's the beauty with evergreen, isn't it?
Yeah,
because
totally.
Whereas Twitter's here today, gone tomorrow, isn't it?
100%. And I think it's about finding. There are always places on the internet that people are asking a question to, and you've just got to find where they're asking your question.
Yeah, and do you use anything to help you find where they're asking the question, or do you go straight to those other social media platforms?
So we have kind of a little bit of a strategy around it. We tend to use something to generate long questions, and we'll Google them, and then we'll find the chat forums from there. We use mainly Reddit, Mumsnet, and Money Saving Expert Forum here in the UK. And then, we have 35 social media platforms that we currently provide services on. 17 of them I use daily. So we have a pretty good understanding of the platforms as a general thing. But it's a super weird space to navigate in.
And here I was thinking it was only LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
That's what most people think. But of course, these are super oversaturated platforms. What you offer is how to get your stuff seen. But if there are only, say, a couple of thousand people on a platform, getting your stuff seen is almost a given. So we focus on those less saturated platforms, and you could be top of your game on a platform where there are no other blah coaches or blah services. Whereas on LinkedIn or Facebook, you're constantly going to be competing with other people who offer the same service.
Absolutely fantastic. You are so switched on. You really know this stuff, and you're really young in your business and how it's all going, but you're doing great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. Well, the other thing I need to touch on or mention or what have you, Paul's come up with a question. Can you see the questions in the chat box?
No, I don't think I can. Oh, yeah, I can. How do you type with those epic nails? They're actually not as long as you think, but they are my pride and joy. So I get them done monthly, and they add this nice little ASMR sound to everything I do. I feel great typing with these. But shout out to my very talented nail artist.
That's fantastic. Trust Paul to notice that, but thank you for answering that one. So that's made Paul's day. So we've in the UK, we have had the COP26, and we've also had the G7, and they had loads and loads of eminent speakers there, including somebody on this show today, and it wasn't me, so it has to be you. Tell us a little bit. I know you're restricted on what you can say at the moment, but how on earth did you manage to get gigs like that?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say like, oh, I was a super clever person and I was super driven and this is what I wanted to do and I went out and I did it. But the truth is, I knew a guy who was hiring for the G7. We'd worked together on a project before. And he sort of said, oh, we need a young speaker because the average age of speakers is quite old. You are the only young person I know. Will you consider doing it? And then from the couple of talks I did around that, including like the Sustainability Growth Conference in Cornwall and the G7 Legacy Panel, that kind of just got my name out there for a bunch of other panels. And obviously the next progression for that was COP26 for me. I'm not a sustainability expert. I'm not a sustainability scientist. It is something I care a lot about, but I am horrifically underqualified to speak about anything super in depth. But what I do talk about is the gap between older generations and younger generations, something called the digital native gap, which is people who don't remember what it was like before the internet, people like me who spend, 28 hours a week sitting on their phones, and people who had to adapt to when the internet come in. And then in entrepreneurship, this has created this super weird space where like young people only collaborate with young people and the older generation only collaborate with the older generation. And so bridging the gap between those generations is super important to me.
Bless you. And that's why you're on this show. I should change it from the 15-minute guy to the old guy. So no, that's
it's
fascinating.
Always super sensitive, but I feel like let's go with non-digital native.
All right. Okay. Because so when I was at school, right, we did not have a computer. There was no computer in the school when I was at senior school. There definitely wouldn't definitely wouldn't have been at primary school, but it wasn't at senior school. But I was the first kid at school to solve the Rubik Cube. So
whoa.
That's how old I am. Anyway, so how many hours a week do you currently work and how does that work for you?
Yeah, so it's super varied. I tend to work about 3-ish hours a day on the actual agency side. That could be collaboration with the clients, talking with my team, etc. I guess it depends if you count my screen time as working. For me, the line is super blurred because I love my job and I love what I do and I create content and it does generate leads, but I just like creating content. So I guess on that sense, it's kind of hard to say. I am a bit of a workaholic though. Like it could be, a very easy 12-hour day for me. Again, because I kind of love what I do and I don't really consider it work all the time. And I'm more than willing to sit up till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning with an American client if that's what it takes to get it done. I care a lot about the job. It looks strange, but it changes all the time.
I was just chatting with someone earlier, and he's just lost one of his members of staff, and it was a youngster, and they just don't have the work ethic. So seeing you with how you are, it's no surprise that you're running a successful business and you're getting asked to talk in these places, and it's very refreshing. So well done you. I think that's amazing. So what challenges do you have at the moment with your business?
Oh, good question. We definitely grew quicker than we expected. And this means that we're working backwards. So usually what happens is people create like free resources, slightly expensive resources, and then they go for big clients. We signed our big clients straight off the bat. And so we have no small resources and no free resources for people at all. And in fact, we don't even have a website or any of those like kind of basic things you would have done in the first few months when you didn't have lots of things coming through. Because of that, we just haven't got a lot of the foundations in place. And so over the next few months, that's become our priority, is like saying, okay, how do we provide free resources for the people who can't afford our services, make it more of an accessible price point? And how do we, treat Sochelle as a client, like actually produce social media content for it and actually spend a bit of time building our presence in other ways? I guess it's not a bad problem to have. It's just
I'm just ruminating over what you've just said there, because take me for example. The first thing I did was get myself a website and then get on social media and start telling everybody about what I was doing. And so if you're already attracting big ticket clients, one would question, do you really need to go elsewhere? It's quite phenomenal.
You don't need to, but it's nice to. I think
Yeah.
this is the thing of like coming back to my brand ethic and my brand ethos. Not everybody I would like to help has the budget for me to help them, and I want to help as many people as I can. So it's just about that kind of social responsibility of sharing what you can with who you can. So I guess, yeah, I mean, it's not a super high on the priority list, but we are coming up to a year without a website, so that feels shameful.
I did a post the other day, right, on LinkedIn, about whether or not you should have a website.
Yeah.
And this was I had someone else in mind I was thinking of, which is why I wrote the post. And all these website designers are coming on, no, it's suicide if you don't have a website, and all these sort of things, and goodness knows what else. But obviously you've proved them all wrong.
Well, okay, so this is the thing. It's stupid not to have a website if you're struggling for work. But if your problem is that your company can't keep up with the amount of work coming through, then you should not have a website, because you don't want to be generating more leads. So yeah, for the majority of our clients, the first thing we do is go in and fix their website. So it's like one of those things that I'm hypocritical on. Like, yeah, if I was running anybody else's company, I would set them up a website. But for us, it just hasn't been a main priority. Yeah.
But this is the thing, Megan. I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase "a cobbler's kids are poorly shod." It's an old saying, but it's right. Like the builders, they've never finished their houses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so you know, shoemakers, their kids have always got rubbish shoes, and this is the thing. Yeah. So you know, it's not like you can't do a website, but you get more fun and more money making a website for somebody else. So it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. You have been absolutely delightful today. Thank you so much. I've got two questions actually, haven't I? What do you do when you're not working or on social media?
That's a good question.
Does Megan have any spare time ever?
Yeah, so I don't have a ton of hobbies, but I have been trying to improve this area of my life. I take Soul Cycle every 2 days, which is like a motivational cycling class where they shout out affirmations and you shout them back. So I guess I do a lot of that. And I've just started learning Urdu, which is the official language of Pakistan, because my granddad's Pakistani. And so I have a language tutor for that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are my two main, regular hobbies at the moment. But they change fairly frequently.
And why not? Why not? Try as much as you can. I've got one more question for you, but before we do that, I just want to let everybody know who I've got next week. And I've got the lovely Catherine Dyer's coming to have a little natter. So she helps businesses grow and stuff like that. So she's lovely. So I'm looking forward to having her on the show. My final question then, okay, is what tip would you give your 16-year-old self?
Yeah. So at 16, I had started my first job and I was a very stressed out individual. So I feel like I just say, like, enjoy it more. Appreciate your youth more, because as you get older, people want to help you less and less. And while you're young, everybody wants to help you. And I promise you that, like, when you're 16 and asking for business help, every single person remembers what it was like to be 16. Yeah. So I feel like take advantage of the fact that you are young and appreciate, the opportunity that's open to you. Don't be super stressed out about it, and try to enjoy it.
Oh, that's perfect advice. I love that. Megan, thank you very much indeed. You've been a little star. I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting to you. We could go on forever, but it is actually called 15 minutes behind the profile, and I know you've got to dash. Thanks to everybody for their lovely comments, and we will see you next week. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ashley. Bye-bye.